Howdy, Miramichi-ers. I am just about to play Proud to be Canadian right here. It's on the 60th anniversary of the Folk Song Festival, and I was lucky enough to be able to have a great conversation and be welcomed by a wonderful Miramichi-er, Dr. Susan Butler, and this is the song that she, when I asked her what song that she wanted me to play, she said this one, and she said she's proud of this song. So she's on the vocals, it's Barb Summers on piano, Jim McDonald on the drums, guitar, bass, and keyboard, Eugene Summers on the keyboard, and the backing vocals, now this is quite special, it's 75 voice choir from St. Andrew's School, under the direction of music teacher Emily Como. And here it is, folks. Proud to be Canadian by, like I say, our great Miramichi-er, Dr. Susan Butler.
We've come so far, we've struggled.
much. Thank you so much, Susan, with that 75 voice choir from St. Andrews Elementary. That was years ago. That school is no longer available, but under the guidance of music teacher Emily Como. Beautiful job. I tell Roger, I'm just pressing record because we're au natural. And anybody on this mighty magic, what do you go, magical or mighty first? The mighty?
No, the mystical
magical Miramichi. Anybody on the mystical magical Miramichi knows exactly who this woman is. This is actually the first time we've ever met. I drove out to Mrs. Susan Butler's home out in the outskirts of the Miramichi proper, and it's a real pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. And you're on the Chaplain Island Road.
I was gonna say that, but I said maybe she doesn't want people know. Everybody knows anyway. Well, I'll tell you what. So you know what? I've had the great pleasure, Susan, over the past couple of months doing this project on YouTube with my Uncle Raj. And we've mentioned your name many, many times, of course, because of your work with the Folk Song Festival. And I've been living in Vancouver, as I told you, for 17 years. My father passed away. So coming back here to the Miramichi this time and doing this project has enabled me to really look into my hometown in a much deeper way. I've always heard your name. I've been to the Folk Song Festival when I was younger, so I wasn't really appreciating what was going on. And unfortunately, this year I'm going to miss it again. But I do plan on taking that in. So, Susan, what do you think you are first? A singer, a organizer, when it comes down to this, your work, what would you how would you describe it?
I would say an organizer, and I take that from my father, Charles Butler, who they used to call Mr. Co-op, was very, very involved in the co-op movement, and he was a great organizer, and I really think I've inherited his talent. And
Right.
Of course, in the second would be music, because music has been a part of our lives for years. I was brought up by the C&D sisters, and they drilled us in music, and as far as the folk song goes, when I was a kid, I hated the sound of the folk songs.
Oh, yeah?
My father would make us Sunday afternoon, after having a rest, it was the Butler ritual. You went to church, came home, had lunch, and then you went to bed for a little while. Then you got up in time to...
That's Roger Como phoning.
Is that right? Anyway, we used to... he'd say... 3 o'clock was Dr. Manny's radio program. Because the folk festival was 67 years old, but the songs itself go back to the early 40s, right, when Louise Manny collected the songs. Dr. Louise Manny.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is her plaque down at the Elm? What is that? What's the Newcastle
Park
Square?
Yeah, the Queen Elizabeth Park.
Right.
Yeah. Well, she was the founder.
Okay.
And then after that was Maisie Mitchell.
Yeah.
And then myself, and actually 3 of us have honorary doctorate degrees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you know what? Let's do a little tread backwards. So there's certain people watching, my friends in Vancouver, and there's other people that might not know your history on this folk song. Can you give us a rundown of the Miramichi Folk Song Festival? And I'll just hold up. This is this year's?
That's right.
This is this year's. It is the 67th annual Miramichi Folk Song Festival, and it is from August 1st to the 5th. And so give us a little rundown on the history, your history, the history.
Well, the history really goes back to Lord Beaverbrook.
Okay.
Who was a great benefactor to the Miramichi, to New Brunswick, period.
Absolutely.
But anyway, he asked Louise Manny, who was the first librarian at the time, to go out and collect folk songs.
Okay.
And she kind of almost laughed at him because there's no such thing. And he said, yes, there is. And he started singing a few ditties. So she and Bessie Crocker, he got her a recording machine, and out it went to the highways and the byways. and the songs were unbelievable what she collected.
Right.
In fact, there were three. There was the
Right here on the river.
that's right. There was the North Shore collection, the Manny collection, and the Beaverbrook collection. And then from that, she met up with Dr. Reginald Wilson from Doketown, but who's lived in the States. And he took all the songs. Can you imagine taking these reel-to-reel tapes and writing the music to all of those songs? And when that was finished, it was compiled into a book, Songs of the Miramichi.
Oh, wow.
And she lived long enough to have the book published. She died in 1970, in the 70s rather. But anyway, she was able to see the fruits of her labor.
Right.
But with the help of Dr. Reginald Wilson, they compiled this book that it's not being printed anymore, but anybody that has it, it's a real history of it.
Oh, wow.
And anyway, and then from that, and then 1958, Louise started the first Miramichi Folk Song Festival. And there were awards given for the oldest performer, the youngest performer, and you name it. But they...
Where was it? Where was the first folk
first
song
one
festival?
was at the Miramichi Lord Beaverbrook Kin Center, which it used to be the town hall that time.
Okay, yeah.
It's been there every year since.
Oh, wow.
And even COVID,
Yeah.
we didn't stop. We did it virtual.
Right.
So we that's why we're classified as Canada's longest standing folk song festival.
Oh, wow, because there was no break in there.
No.
Oh, right on. Well, that's really excellent. So I'm going to press pause just for 1 second. So before we get back into more folk song talk, one of the first thing I noticed when I walk in here was the beautiful bling you got on.
Oh,
No, seriously, beautiful earrings.
I love bling.
I know, but really, but I can see the style is really good, really excellent. Is that a collection from all over every time you go, or is it just?
No.
Okay, so Susan, this is really fascinating. So 1968, Canada's longest
58.
Oh, 58.
Yeah, because it's 67 years.
Right,
Yeah,
67. The Commonwealths are no good at math.
wasn't my forte either.
The longest running folk
Song Festival.
Song Festival.
In Canada.
Oh, wow, that's really something.
Yeah.
And so so we had Dr. Louise Manny, who we were mentioned. She was the founder.
The founder, yeah.
Then it went over to Mrs. Maisie Mitchell.
Yeah.
And you know how you live. You know how you know when you live in a good, cool town is when somebody's named Maisie. When you got a Maisie.
When you got a Maisie.
When you got a Maisie.
Yeah.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, we're with Dr. Susan Butler. And what was the first year you took over?
I took over in 83.
83, which, let's do the math here, 17 and 24.
Yeah, and then I went 2 years ago, Melanie Rosbreen
Right.
has been taking it over. She teaches in Halifax, but she put the last 2 years together. The festival is a 5-day event with a lot of activities.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work involved in it.
I'm sure there is.
She's really the only one that could have really taken the festival over. She was part of the festival since she was about 10 years old.
Oh, yeah?
So
she's been singing since then.
Oh,
and
yes.
around.
So,
well, we've played on our little program. I've mentioned you before we played. Is it called Front Porch?
oh, yeah, she wrote that beautiful song.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I played Melanie's when I was driving into that St. Stephen's Anglican Church. Is it United Church over in Black River.
Yeah.
That was Melanie Ross Breen. Acapello.
Yeah, be the Banks of the Miramichi.
The Banks of the Miramichi.
And that was one of the songs that's in the book, Songs of the Miramichi.
Oh, right on. And so Melanie's taken it over, so that must be quite an honor for her to do that as well, eh?
And not only that, she's a natural, phenomenal MC, phenomenal entertainer, and great organizer.
Right on.
And it's actually a great privilege to have her.
Right on. Well, and that's, I'm sure that she's learned a lot from you over the years too, and I'm sure she would say that.
Well, we work together.
Yes. Yeah, right on. So, what are some of the highlights of your during your tenure of these folk song festivals?
The wonderful people that I've met.
Yeah.
And then the awards that I've received. That like when I received the Order of Canada, that was almost unbelievable.
Well, that's what a yeah, like that is unbelievable
Yeah,
for, but you know, anybody on the Miramichi would agree that somebody like yourself would deserve such a thing.
but the things that I don't do on my own. I have a wonderful team of people. I have people that have been
Mm-hmm.
working with me for almost 40 years.
Right.
You know, and my philosophy, it was the same when I nursed and worked. I never gave anybody a job that I wouldn't do myself.
Right. Well,
You know,
that's a good
and
philosophy.
you work as a team,
Right.
and
Any
that's why we're successful.
any good leader that I've read or studied over the years, you know, says just that. You know,
Yeah.
when people say, "Oh, I'm a self-made man," no, I'm not. How could you
No,
possibly
no, no,
be?
no,
You know, your
no,
mother had
no.
to wipe your butt when you were a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, no.
No, but it's a oh, that's you know, and I'm not surprised that that is your philosophy either.
And of course, my faith. I was brought up by the nuns, and I'm a practicing Catholic, and I always thank God for everything that He's given me, and
Yeah.
He's given me a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? That pattern keeps coming back into my life too. A lot of the amazing people that I am meeting do have that common thread, I must
Yeah,
say. Yeah.
yeah.
So you just got back from Nashville. She just got back from Nashville, Tennessee. We have a
Yeah.
I'm sitting with a Nashville recording star,
No,
Susan
no, no,
Butler.
no, no,
So
no.
you were down in Nashville visiting an old friend
Friend,
named
yes, but Brenda Best,
Brenda Best.
who is actually from New Brunswick, from Campbellton originally, has
Yeah.
been down there for about 20 years. And she's been making a name for herself, and she does a dinner theater down there. So we went to the dinner theater, and she asked me to sing. So I sang, "Could I have this dance?"
Oh wow.
And then at the end, the finale was "Will the Circle Be Unbroken?" And then my favorite song was "God Bless
Oh
America."
wow.
And who's on stage with us, but she sang as well, was Glenn Campbell's sister.
Glenn Campbell's
Yeah.
sister. Oh wow.
So,
Now my favorite version of God Bless America is obviously Susan Butler's, but my second's Ray. I like Ray Charles's too. It was a pretty
yeah, yeah,
amazing.
it's a beautiful number.
It is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
beautiful number. Well, let's show this is Brenda Best right here.
That's Brenda Best.
That's who
Yeah.
Susan was just visiting. Sorry for the glare, folks. Look at how beautiful she looks. She looks like she's rocking
Oh,
Nashville,
she
just like
is.
it's second nature to her.
Yeah,
Right on.
yeah.
So, you know, the festival August 1st. Is there any notables coming this
Oh
year?
yeah, David Miles.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Out of
from Fredericton.
yeah,
But I
Fredericton
think
area.
somebody told me that, I don't know if his mother has relatives or came from up Sunny Corner way.
Yes,
Is
yes.
that right?
I heard that before. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't
When
wrong.
yeah,
But
CBC.
anyway, what's going to be nice about it? It's also going to be a songwriter circle as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, let's see. Let's show
Okay,
you here.
yeah. Where's the itinerary here? Like.
Okay, here it is, right
Okay,
here.
right here.
There he is.
Okay.
And he is awesome.
What? Oh yeah, David Miles.
But anyway, this year we're going to open at Parklands, the seniors complex.
Oh yeah.
Because we do an afternoon show there for the last couple of years. So Melanie thought it would be great that if we did the official opening in the afternoon down at Parklands, and it's down on by the water in Douglastown. Is a gorgeous spot.
Oh,
And
right
they
on.
have a tent, and we have music, and it's a lovely afternoon. And then
Right
we have
on.
a noon luncheon on Friday with live entertainment. And then closing off, we'll have the New Brunswick Day breakfast right on New Brunswick Day.
Oh wow.
And a children's show, and Ivan and Vivian Hicks, and
Down East Entertainers.
yes, that's
George Paul.
yeah, and Jim Morrison, his band, and Jerry Roberts is back home from Ireland again. He has a home here, so he'll be part of it as well. And
Hello Crows.
yes, they're an Aboriginal group, and they are phenomenal.
Merge Steiner.
Steiner, she's a doctor, Marge Steiner from
Oh yeah.
Indiana.
Oh cool.
She's been coming now for the last 20 years, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The Mells.
The Mells, that's Melanie
Melanie
Ross,
Ross.
And Melissa Berry. So,
Oh right on.
yeah.
Roger Langtang.
Langtang, phenomenal accordion player.
Audrey McLaughlin.
She's going to be the featured guest at the children's show.
Oh,
And
right on.
that really has blossomed. And to me, that's the future of the festival is our children's show. We
Sure.
even have two young fellows coming. I can't. They're great grandsons of Wilmot McDonald, believe it or not, and they live in Ontario.
Oh, right
And
on.
they're coming home to perform, and one's a phenomenal violinist, and the other one is a piano player, and they win awards at the festivals up there. So.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
We got Frank and Jenny McKibben. I played
Yeah, that's right.
Mother Miramichi.
Yeah.
Frank McKibben, powerful voice.
Oh yeah, he does.
Tully Paul and women's drummers.
Yeah. This is part of the festival has really grown into multicultural aspect, which is
Right.
great. We have the Aboriginal, we have the Francophone, and last year we even had some Mexican dancers, which
cool.
is great. And then what's been added since Melanie took over is the Saturday night pub.
Oh, yeah.
We have Ian and Roy
Yeah.
for that night, along with Rob Curry and the Corner Boys from Nova Scotia.
Oh, right on.
So which would be a great evening.
Ray Legier and Alan Jeffries. Ray was
that's
a
right. That's
fiddler.
right. They are. I think it's Mike Bravenier from Fredericton is releasing a new album, and they're going to be there that night with them. So, but no,
Right on.
we've got a great lineup.
I'm sure. What's the difference between a violin and a fiddle? Well, a violin has 4 strings, and a fiddle has 4 strings.
I never heard that. That's a new one to me.
That's a new one.
to me.
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, Emily Williamson and Jason Barry, Terry Whalen, Wade Hallahan.
Yeah, they're going to be all part of the songwriter circle.
Oh, wow. Jerry Roberts?
No, Jerry, he'll be on
Okay.
for the breakfast.
Oh, for breakfast, and Aubrey Stewart.
Yeah, he'll be playing with him. And then there's Tyrone
And Donna.
Donna, and then these gals are from Moncton.
Dahlia Avenue.
Yeah,
Frank and Jenny.
Yeah.
And you know what? Tyrone, anybody that just watched Roger Step Dance, and that was Tyrone on the guitar.
Oh.
They had a blast. They
Oh,
him
you should
and
hear him on piano.
I heard he's
there's-
beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing sound for us for if you're around on next on the 18th of
I don't
May.
think so.
No.
I'm having to leave back to Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
But I wish I was. I this project has been really good. I'm meeting people like you, and it's been really excellent for me, Susan. Anything else you want to say about the fact? Look at this book right here. Susan just gifted me this. This is gorgeous. This is Roger's neighbor, Edie Sabo. You saw her on an episode before, the painter, the beautiful painter.
Yeah, she designed the book cover.
She designed the book cover. The name was from your brother?
Brother Michael.
Brother Mike, For the Love of It, 60 years of Miramichi Folk Song Festival. I got that from Susan Butler. She knows how to organize, let me tell you. Because when I walked in here, I got the swag. Look at that. Miramichi Folk Song Festival hat. I love that. I'm going to be rocking that one in Vancouver. And I've been playing all those songs from this album. Roger has a copy. And now I got my own copy. And you know what, Susan? Thank you so much. We're going to play the whole thing. It's going to be about a 15 or 16 minute interview. I will, and now that we have a connection here, it's going to be cool. So when I do make my way back into the Miramichi, I will not be a stranger, because I'm always interested in the mentorship of young people, and I'm always interested in a person like yourself, like what your philosophy would be about, how have you had young people that you've been...
you would be surprised how many people have come here from elementary to high school to university that have been doing projects, heritage projects.
Oh, yeah?
And they've come to me to want to know about Louise Manny or Beaverbrook or the festival itself.
Oh, wow.
And then I use I utilize the youth for the festival. They help serve the meals and that. And then with the children's show. And then, of course, we're doing this fundraiser for the drama club going to Scotland. So,
right.
And they're keeping the young people involved with it, which is great.
Right. Well, it is very important, but there's a lot of it's good that you look at it positively like that, because there's a lot of people out there that are showing some concern on how things are going with our
Yeah.
younger people and the disinterest in keeping traditions alive,
Yeah.
et cetera, et
And what
cetera.
I've done with both schools in Chatham and Newcastle for the last 20 years, I've given a scholarship to both schools.
Oh, wow.
And it's geared towards somebody that's been involved in music or drama.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow. So one more question. Were
Yeah.
you out driving around today in the Miramichi?
No.
Oh, you weren't? Yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, what were you listening to in your car?
I don't turn the radio on
Oh,
when I'm
you're
driving.
focusing. Okay, did you hear that, folks? There is a lesson from the Dr. Susan Butler. She has been given the Order of Canada
And the Order of New Brunswick.
and the Order of New Brunswick. It is a very decorated Miramichier. The humbleness, I've been welcomed into the home, and I tell you what, we can go on and on and on about the accolades, but when you have somebody that has put in their time organizing, just try organizing a dinner with your family. Now that's hard to do. Now, let alone trying to put together festivals year after year after year, deserves a lot of credit, Susan. And I for one thank you for that. Even though I have not been on the Miramichi, but I recognize the value in such a thing. So
Thank you.
Yeah, it's an amazing.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well.
Well, thank you very much.
Because I've known your grandparents for many, many years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Comos were very highly respected people.
Well, thank you very much. And that's I can't get rid of you, by the way. I want to keep talking here, so I keep going. But that's one of the other things I've been recognizing about coming back to my hometown is the trust of a name. And people are saying, "Oh, where are you from?" Oh, and that's good. Like one guy said to me, "Oh, you're Roger's nephew? Good enough for me. Don't care." And he said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Edie Sabo, for setting this little meeting up.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. Yeah, you're good?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Why don't you move in a little bit closer?
And when I walked into the desk, the lady behind the cash, she never even smiled or nothing. And here I am. My eyes are starting to blacken and it looked like hell. And I said, well, come on, you gotta at least smile a little bit. It's gotta be funny. And then finally she kind of broke out a little bit.
Roger Como was talking about broken noses, playing hockey, and okay, so Raj knows very well why we're sitting here at a time that we usually don't, and it's because I went and deleted a whole recording of episode number 47, Raj. So he had to come back down, retract, and we got to kind of go through it again, which sucks, but we're just going to go natural. Welcome to Mirami-histor-chi number 47. Roger's got a coffee, I got a tea. We are sitting in a beautiful morning in the Miramichi today. It's a blue sky. The river was just mystical this morning, eh, Raj? Like fog rising up. It was beautiful looking.
Yeah, that's a great sign.
Yeah. It's a sign that we're going to be in for like a beautiful morning at least. So our project is coming to a close. We're going to try to get up to number 50 for kind of, we'll call it phase 1. If not, it could not. But we've been unpacking. This is the local historian, Roger Como, and we've been unpacking his local collection. He's a local historian, and all you got to do to be a local historian, well, it sounds easy. 2 things, I think. I just made this up. A, you got to be consistent over a long period of time, and B, you have to have a collection. So if you have a consistent collection over a long period of time, sounds easy. It's not. It takes years and years and years. It's actually decades and decades and decades and decades and decades and decades when we refer to Raj. But Roger has done this, and we are unpacking nephew, uncle, Jamie, Roger. I've been on the Miramichi for about 5 months now. My father passed away. So this project has been very therapeutic for me, and I think Raj as well, as we were talking about it. And we've done a lot of things. It's enabled me to look at my hometown and the unbelievable soul of the people on this river, and we're doing it in the recent past with Roger's newspaper clippings and collection, and by just going out and I'm getting video, and this thing has organically taken its own shape. And Raj, the people are talking about dance. I'm continuing to get messages about your big dance performance. Roger dusted off dance shoes. He hasn't been doing it for years, like 40 something years.
Decades, you said.
Decades. And so he never played with those musicians before. It was in the moment, organic, the way it should be done, live. And Roger just had to hear the music, and then there was 4 numbers that we showed of Roger's dancing, and I think we played 2 more numbers from the Hall of Fame fiddler Norm Macdonald and his good cousin Tyrone Hubbard, and it was beautiful. Hey, Raj?
Norman Young.
Norman, what did I say?
McDonald.
Oh, Norman Young. Sorry, Norm. And it was so much fun.
He'll delete that.
Yeah. It was so much fun. And, okay, so Raj, one more thing. They would have just listened to Proud to be Canadian by a great Miramichi, Susan Butler. And I introduced that song. I was driving along Red Bank, going into like the Derby area towards Miramichi, along the river there. Susan, I asked her what song that she wanted me to play, and she chose that one. She said she was very proud of that. I had a great conversation at Susan's house last week. She was so lovely to have had me up there. And, you know, sorry, Susan, if it's not the way you like it. I'm not a professional, but I think we had a great chat. We had a good rapport there. And Susan Butler deserves a lot of credit for what she's done in the Miramichi fundraising-wise, and especially noted for her work on the Miramichi Folk Song Festival, which this year is the 67th, I think it is, which is really remarkable. It's the longest running folk song festival in Canada.
Yep.
And there's a history there. And Susan's an honorary, she is a Order of Canada recipient, an Order of New Brunswick. She was elegant, wonderful, down to earth, easy to talk to, and has done many things. So Raj, that's the intro, and we have to go through this again, but you know what? There's nothing better than sitting here with me, Uncle Raj, Canada's greatest puckhawk.
Pretty easy for us now. We're professionals at this.
We're professionals at this. And you know what the beauty of this is that we just do it. There's not much editing. We just kind of are natural, and we're doing this because this is what we're doing. This is what we should be doing because this is what we're doing. So I have a lot of things that I would always like to say and take it to different avenues, and this project is morphing into a certain way. It's been really excellent for me to do that. So I'm having people from all over Canada and the world get in touch with me, old friends that are like, you know, in Ireland or Belgium or wherever that are commenting on this. So it's really cool.
So, like the other day, we're going to start off from a sponsor.
The sponsor.
We're going to do a sponsor.
We are getting into a sponsor, and I tell you what, one of our local sponsors is Corey Wishart. Wish Works at the Core Store. We haven't shown one of his things in a while. We will. But the sponsor that, where you guys saw that dance performance, this is from, where are those ones, Raj, that we showed? They're in an envelope.
Yeah.
Let's show those ones again, and I'll show these ones right here. You can maybe pull those out for me. Yeah. So we got Roger's daughter, Amanda. She drew this one of Roger. She has a fine arts degree from Mount Allison University. This trip home for me has gotten me closer to Amanda, and it has enabled me to appreciate her work so much more. The house that she refurbished and redid, it's 120 something years old, and the interior that she did is absolutely beautiful. It's old antique style, so that's one of her talents. She has an amazing eye for art. Look at the work. Okay, so we're gonna show what?
I want to show you what I'm going to look like in 7 years' time.
In 7 years' time, this is what Roger Como is going to look like. Okay, so Raj, look at that. It is absolutely beautiful work that Amanda does. She has a real skill of getting the emotion on a face. This is all done with pencil. This is her hand, and that's one of them. Here is another one, another. Look at that right there. You know, you can tell that she's just getting the essence of the eyes, the mouth, the facial expressions. Look at the detail. It is beautiful work. Amanda has actually got a commission from this show. Somebody did get in contact with her. And here, look at this other one here. Look at the pain on that face, right? You can just see it. This person here looks like they've been through some stuff. Looks like they've been coming out on the other side, though. You know that this person has their end of the bargain picked up. That's Amanda's work. Now, if you're out there and you're looking to get a special gift for somebody, why would you not want to get in touch with a local artist such as Amanda? Easy to work with. She can take your direction. You guys can work together. You can tell her what you're looking for, and she can create work as good as that will be very personal to you. And here's another one of Amanda and a couple of her friends from high school, university. There's Amanda right here, and that's her good friend Pam McKendrick. And those of you on the Miramichi would maybe know Pam from her music. She has a beautiful singing voice, plays guitar, has some soul to that. And I don't know who that is, Raj. But
Haley Weeks.
that's Haley Weeks, Amanda's other good friend right there. And Amanda did those drawings of her and her friends. Absolutely gorgeous. So why not get in touch with Amanda? And if you're wondering how a woman like Amanda can sponsor a show like this, well, she just does it by being the best daughter a man could ever have. And if you're looking to get in touch with her, it's very simple. You go to the phone book and look up Roger Como's name, and he will do the secretarial work and get in touch with Amanda. So there you have it, Raj. You must be proud of your daughter's creativity. It is absolutely beautiful. And those are the gifts that last forever. When you give somebody a personal gift that's from an artist like that, they always remember it.
So we're into part 2, 1982.
Oh yes, oh yeah, we're 1982 part 2.
Yeah, so we started off the other day with a little recognition from a town mayor in Chatham, Eddie,
yeah.
Eddie Maher. So there's
Okay.
two articles started off with that there.
Okay, so it says Mayor Maher holds the record. This is from April 21st, the 1982 edition of the Miramichi Leader. And Eddie Maher, the mayor of Chatham, Edward J. Maher, holds the record for being the longest serving mayor in the history of the town. He has been mayor since 1973. This is 82, so that would have been 9 years. It may have been surpassed in recent years, but this is dating back to 82. And if you're looking to have a good cup of coffee, Raj, when you go into Creative Grounds and this man's grandson, if you're lucky enough, will serve you.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a picture of that. That's Eddie Maher. His son was Harry. Harry ran the Maher's funeral home for many, many years. He just recently passed away. We had a connection with Harry, our family. He served, my grandfather Raj's father's funeral for one. Okay, so Chatham native Bert Kramer Wright, a colorful figure on the Miramichi sports scene for many years, was named Special Mate of the Year at the recent Chatham Curling Club banquet. Here, Chatham Mayor Eddie Maher presents the award. So there's Eddie right there presenting to Bert Kramer. Excellent stuff, folks. And Raj's collection, we are digging to 1982, 42 years ago. Just think about that. 1982 for you guys out there is 42. And you know what? This is interesting because the conversation I just had at Creative Grounds had to do with this person, Paula Foley, awarded scholarship. Paula Marie Foley, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ivory Foley of Nelson, Miramichi, has been awarded the Francis M. McLaughlin Scholarship by St. Thomas University, valued at $1,500 per annum and renewable for 4 years. The scholarship is awarded to students of outstanding academic ability who are entering the first year of university studies, and I'm sure that she did good with that. And I was at the coffee shop today talking to Bev.
Yeah.
And she mentioned to me, Paula Foley just took a video of her grandmother making bread in a really kind of rustic way. And because I was explaining to her what I've been doing, and so it correlated. And it was just to show somebody using their hands.
Yeah.
So that is. Thanks for sharing that today, Bev. And thank you, Raj, for all these clippings. Okay, you know what? I've heard this story. I heard the story once before, and I can't wait to hear it again.
Okay. We're going to talk about this young lady here from Logieville.
Okay, so this young lady here, this is April 21st, 1982. There she is, folks. Look at how great that photo is. This had to do with Secretary Week. This week is National Secretary Week, and Mary Cameron, formerly Walsh, daughter of Forey, sister of Billy,
Wife
of
Dale.
Dale
Cameron.
Cameron. Okay. Secretary at Chatham Town Hall is the Miramichi Leader Secretary of the day. Mary is up to her ears and eyes this week in paperwork for Saturday's Awareness Day, sponsored by the Downtown Development Committee and the Downtown Merchants Association. She is also the reason Chatham Town Council meetings operate so smoothly. And there she is, and Roger will be sharing a story of this beautiful Mary Cameron as I hold this up.
Oh, yeah, it was back in the days of our last years at the high school in Logieville, which the grades went up to grade 9. So various times during the, especially the spring and summer, when you're walking home for lunch or after school, occasionally Mary would be walking ahead of us. And that's when I noticed that she had the nicest legs in the school.
The nicest legs in the Logieville school. And Raj, what I think you mentioned that to her years later.
Oh yeah, not too many years ago.
And then she just laughed as she would, and she said,
Oh, she said, now look at me now.
now look at me now. Well, anyway, there you heard it. The nicest legs in Logieville belong to Mary Walsh in Roger's school day years.
Yeah. So I want to mention a lad here that has some concerns here with our Miramichi.
Okay.
A couple articles on Blair Clancy.
Blair Clancy, April 21st, 82. This is one of those photos. Look at that great photo right there. Looks like some mentoring is getting done. Blair Clancy of the Chatham Downtown Merchants Association presents an Easter basket to Rachel Durrell of Bay St. Anne. Rachel was the winner of a recent coloring contest sponsored by the Merchants Association. Second place winners were David Carroll, Brian Brennan, and Kevin Guider. I remember Kevin Guider at the swimming pool down at Family Land Campground. There's Blair Clancy, and here he is again on April 22nd edition of the Miramichi Leader. I like that vest that he's got on there. Really cool. And he's standing there with Chuck Dewey of Dewey Photography. Saturday will be Downtown Awareness Day in Chatham, sponsored by the Downtown Merchants Association. The day is intended to draw attention to the revitalization of downtown Chatham and will include a crafts sale, a tour of historic buildings and workshops. Posting a sign advertising the event are Chuck Dewey, was president of the association, and Blair Clancy, who was chairman of promotions. Great photo, and they are doing good work to promote the town of Chatham.
I recognize people involved with the Kidney Foundation.
Okay, I see the father of the only person we have on our staff, Raj, at Mirami-histor-chi, other than you and I, is a fact checker. She's the fact checker.
Oh, she checks
and
all
she
the
checks
facts.
all of our facts, and this is her father right here. And we're not mentioning names, and you just have to guess who that is. Combating kidney disease, Pearl Bryanton is the president of the Miramichi chapter of the Kidney Foundation of Canada, and she gathers with those who helped the chapter raise more than $5,000 to fight kidney disease this year. We have Brant Adams, Pearl Bryanton, Stephen Collette, Betty Mullen, Eddie Quinn of Logieville, Charles Robinson, Betty Robinson, and Norman Bryanton. And there it is, folks. My finger is right over Eddie Quinn, formerly of Logieville. He used to go to our church. I remember him very well. And I just found out, Raj, do you know where Eddie Quinn is laid to rest? He is laid to rest in St. Margaret's.
Oh, out there?
Yes.
Oh.
So I remember that, and I was asking about that.
Oh,
and
you got that through the fact lady.
I got through that. I got that. Yeah, I got that, plus many other information. And I have to thank... I have to thank because I was out at Sheep House Falls yesterday, and that was due to the conversation there.
Was there any sheep around?
There was no sheep around.
Okay,
That's the
this
best
is,
Roger Como could do right there for a joke.
That's
He asked if there's any sheep around at Sheep House Falls. Yeah.
okay. We have a closing banquet of curling.
Curling.
We just deal with the
Again,
pitchers.
Raj, I mentioned earlier on that I want to get into this curling. But then again, guys like Raj and I, we're always talking about wanting to get into everything. Roger told me one time he wanted to be a cowboy for 1 year. He wanted to go to Montana and just be a cowboy. He actually said that to me. I remember it. Okay. Okay, so a highlight of the closing banquet of the Chatham Curling Club was the presentation of sweaters to the 8-ender team by Craven A. That's a cigarette company. David Flynn, Kevin Flanagan, Max Irving, Dale Russell, and Winston Churchill, and Eddie McDermott. And there is Max Irving right there, formerly of Logieville, the former late husband of Betty Irving. You know, Betty, oh my God, what was her name? Linda Irving.
Her kids.
Yeah, who was Betty? What was Betty?
Max's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know her.
What was her maiden name? She was lovely. But anyway, you heard it right, Winston Churchill. So as through this show, I've found out that Miramichi has a Winston Churchill, a James Bond, a Linda Carter, who was Superman in the TV and movies,
and this.
Dean Martin. Oh, maybe Dean Martin's coming up. Or did we already mention him? So sorry for that. Hey, we're redoing this. And you know what else I found? I was watching a documentary the other day, and it was a Miles Davis. Oh, I was listening to Miles Davis, and Mom just told me, oh, that's Mike Davis's grandson's name, Miles. So we have a Miles Davis too now. So this is quite the town we got.
Yeah.
So there it is, folks.
Okay, there's a continuation of the curling.
Continuation of the curling. Photo number 1 I'll show you. It's called the Casey Tire Trophy. Who is that contingent right there? It is none other than Bill Barry, Dodie Dixon, Freddie Siliker, and David McKenzie. Absent was Jean-Marie Roy. And the Lounsbury Company Trophy. This is all about curling. Look at these great photos from 1982. These photos came courtesy of Mr. Brian Richard. Eldon Connell presents the Lounsbury Trophy to Gary Appleby, Rick Mean, David McKenzie, and Jim Matheson. Right on. Really cool, Raj.
Yeah. So we got these young lads that are coached by Mike and
I think Bobby,
Bobby
wasn't
Bowes,
it? Yeah,
yeah.
so the Bowes brothers, Mike and Bobby, coached a team in 1982 that won the Adam A Championships. And this is April 17th, 1982. Look at that great photo right there. Bunch of young kids, all healthy. I love going out after a hockey game and you win it. You're a little kid into that dressing room. Take your helmet off. Everybody's sweating, breathing, smiling, feeling great. And it's a beautiful thing when you win. Okay, so Chatham won the New Brunswick Minor Hockey Council's Adam A Championship this season. On that team, Robbie Dempsey, Larry Carroll, Scott McDonald, Dennis McLean, an honorary pallbearer at my dad's recent funeral. Terry Morris, the son of Greg and Linda, he went on to have a great career in sports and as a professional in New York, I think he is. Patrick Daniel, Derek McDonald, the son of Junior and Margie, we called him Dyke. Joel McDermott, Chris Walsh, Bobby Bowes, the coach, Jason Bowie, Ray Pine, Jason McLean, son of Paul and Marjorie, Jack McNeil, Jamie Wood, his son just recently went in the first round of the NHL draft, John Robert Hay, J.R. Hay, Daryl Kane, Chris Hambrook, Wesley Cable, Stephen Stewart, and Mike Bowes. And Raj, there's Wesley Cable, and Raj informed me that he is involved with the Portage Restaurant up on the highway there across from the Irving Tim Hortons. It's been there for a long time. I haven't been in. Raj says he has done a great job, as Wesley has done with all his entrepreneurial pursuits in the city of the Miramichi. And Raj and I will be up there for breakfast Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. He'll be signing autographs. He's got all those photos of his dancing performance. And if anybody wants to come in, he'll sign between eggs, hash browns, toast. So every bite he takes, he'll sign an autograph as he's chewing.
So we're going to close off April with this guy.
We're closing off April with former politician, There he is, folks, at a rockathon. Bill Fraser, that's him in 1982. Bill Fraser of Chatham totes his chair to the Knights of Columbus Hall, where the Columbian Squires held a rockathon last weekend. The money raised by the Squires will go to the renovation fund for the basement of St. Michael's Church. And if you're wondering what a rockathon is, well, you had to get, sponsors and all that, make some money. But it was social. You go out, you go to a room, bring your rocking chair, hang out, listen to music, and you had to stay there all night or however long it was.
Yeah.
Oh, right on, Raj. Raj, you know what I did? I was out yesterday, Raj, and I went back to Sidney Matchett's place because I was driving by doing some videoing. See, if you guys never saw the video, I forget what episode it is. It's in the 40s. I went out to Trout Brook and caught a local fisherman expert and fly tyer, Sidney Matchett, and I had a chat with him, and he hadn't seen the video because he's not on YouTube or anything, and I shared it with him, and he was he's a cool guy. When I rewatched that video, I realized I said flying ties. Tie flying, I was like flying ties. So that's one of my many mistakes that I've made.
Okay, we're going to start in the month of May.
Okay, so we're into May. The Miramichi built Actaeon left is now a landing stage in the Falklands, while the Eritrea built in, oh my God, these words,
Yeah.
Milledgeville in 1859 is a wharfside warehouse. The Falkland Islands, there was a war going on at one point linked to New Brunswick's marine history. Well, I'll tell you what, I butchered the reading of that, but that is what we're talking here. There was a link to the Falkland Islands and the Miramichi through these vessels right here. That's where I'll leave it because I am ignorant as to what went on there.
So we have two dignitaries that were signing the petition to try to retain our CFB Chatham.
Okay, it says, so we have Father B.M. Broderick of Chatham adds his name to a newsprint petition at Northumberland Square, which was the old shopping mall, favoring the retention of CFB Chatham. Behind him, Lincroft, Stanley Muir, John McKay, and Steve Rodriguez. And there is the father signing this. So in 1982, there was talk of the CFB Chatham leaving. Anyway, if anybody knows anything on the Miramichi, it didn't at that time. This is from May 5th, 82, and this is the Chatham Mayor, Eddie Marr, as we had mentioned, and he's signing as well with those same people watching on. So it looks like they saved the base in 82. They couldn't do so in the mid-90s, as we know. Big dagger to the heart when that place left.
So we can just go to the first paragraph
Okay.
on Richard Kerr's dad.
Former Chatham Mayor, sportsman, dies at the age of 65. This is William James Kerr, the former Chatham mayor, longtime town councillor, and sportsman, died at his home here Sunday. He was 75 years old. He was the son of the late William and Anne Fraser. He attended St. Michael's Roman Church, and he was known as Pop. And we know his the sons that we know are Richard and David and Richard.
That's just the boy, Richard and David.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Hockey players.
There he is right there. And his son, Richard, came up to me during my dad's funeral reception and gave his condolences.
Okay, I remember when the sandblasting took place at that place there on Water Street.
Sandblasting? I think we're reading things that we hadn't read in that earlier one.
Yeah, I know.
That's okay. Sandblasting facelift. Jerry Donahue was once merchant ready to give fact to the face-lifting proposals aired by the downtown merchants. Here, the upper story of Donahue's building receives a thorough but dusty sandblasting.
Yep.
Now, there it is, folks. That is now O'Donohue's. And
It really looks good.
and it really looks great, and it's one of the great buildings on the Chatham waterfront. And if you're looking to go in and have a good time, let your hair down, well, let me tell you, O'Donoghue's is a good place to do it. It's an old classic Irish pub style.
So here's a new executive for
Okay.
the old-timers baseball.
The tournament is for the players, Wally Doucette. Well, here it is, the Miramichi Valley Baseball Old Timers, and there's a new executive for them. This is really wonderful. That was a great culture they had, especially the Chatham Head Tigers. That ball field over there is amazing. Okay, did I just say the word amazing again? I did, and it was a little exaggeration. Okay, a newly formed executive of the Miramichi Valley Baseball Old Timers is making plans for its annual tournament in August. The front row from left are Lee Saunier, Herb Drisdell, Wally Doucette, and Lawson Drisdell. We have Willard Vickery, Emile Gauguin, Paul LaGraley, Junior Giroir, David Malley, Venance Saunier, and Anthony Gauguin. And that is a great photo right there.
1982.
1982, and they had a great old-timers tradition, as again, especially over at the Chatham Head ball field.
So sticking with that.
Okay, the Miramichi Valley Baseball League expands to 5 teams. And look at that great photo right there. Who are those fine gents right there? They are none other than Herbie Driscoll, Danny Henderson, Terry Whalen, who is the president, Lee Saunier, and Blaine Silliger. And there's Terry Whalen Sr. right there as the president. And I would love to get his son, Terry Jr., singing a song for us on one of these episodes. Great moments in local sports. Well, look at this great photo right here. That is a great photo. There's 2 pro players in that. The guy standing is none other than Mr. Greg Malone, and that's Pat Daly. What does the caption say? This is from 1982. This is Northumberland News. The first year of the Chatham Summer Hockey School showed 2 very promising puck stoppers attending. They were Krista Placey and Troy Moore. And of course, it was Greg Malone of the Penguins and Pat Daly, who was at that time playing for the Fredericton Express. And there's Krista Placey and Troy Moore, folks. Right on. Really cool. And Troy, he continued his goaltending career into senior hockey and stuff, and he was really good. Oh, yeah.
So I lost
Yep.
his life there.
Yep. Racing hero killed. That is Canadian car racer Gilles Villeneuve right there. This is 1982. This is from the May 10th. It says, racetrack officials examine remains of a Formula One Ferrari driven Saturday by Canadian Gilles Villeneuve in the qualifying lap for the Belgian Grand Prix. Villeneuve was killed in a 170-mile-per-hour accident when he was thrown from the vehicle. And there's Gilles right there. And the accident scene, it's not the greatest of photos. It's all blurry and stuff to even decipher, but that's the car right there rolling. And you can see the resemblance. Any sports fans out there, his son Jacques Villeneuve was a car racer as well. I think he was Formula One, but do not quote me on that. I'm not a car racing guy, but he was top of the, he was in the elite in the 90s, and he was winning some races, and Jacques is the son of him, and I can see the resemblance totally in the face.
You want to bother to close off May with that?
Oh, sure. This says, Hatfield says Chatham base won't close. This is 82, so I would argue that he did keep his word. Hatfield was the premier of New Brunswick, and it says the Chatham base won't close. It did more than a decade and something later, but here it is right here, folks. People were getting together in the community to save this. I didn't know that was happening. I was too young. My father worked up there, so I'm sure the stress was high on him at that time, wondering if people were going to retain their jobs.
Okay, now we're going to go into June.
We're into June, folks. Raj, I was talking to your middle kid last night, who happened to be, goes by the name Artie. And he said when he saw that video of you dancing, he was at work and he was laughing so hard that tears were coming out of his eyes, and his working buddies thought he was crazy. But that video, getting back to that dancing video, that's something that's on file now. It was really excellent that you did that. And you mentioned in the recording that I accidentally deleted that, you know, confidence trumps failure. And, you know, so you called it gall, but it's, you know, confidence is very important. So to get out there and just do that, show yourself and be proud of it was really excellent. And, yeah, so Artie, I watched it when I was filming it. I was laughing too, because I was just thinking of the whole of just you up there. But as I've watched it several times since, it's very special, and it's really excellent that that we did that.
Okay, we're going to start the month of June.
Okay.
I looked through that little thing. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, this is a great savings on the Miramichi. This is just an advertising. So this was a special edition that was inside of the Miramichi Leader in 1982, and look at the great artwork on that, folks. It was it's beautifully done. I like the color on it, but it was just like, you know, it's an advertising booklet, you know, for sales. And look at that. I don't know about you, but when I'm walking down the old streets of the Miramichi, this is what I see right there. I actually saw it this morning at Creative Grounds. That, one of our great Miramichiers walked in there today, and she looked like $1,000,000, I must say. So what did I show before? We showed
businesses there at the front there.
Yeah,
All the way through there's businesses.
Yeah, it's
the Canary Restaurant.
Yeah, I think it was the Canard I showed. Right?
Yeah.
So it's local advertising, and again, where's that Canard?
It might have been right at the beginning.
Oh, yeah? Maybe.
Oh, no.
Second page.
Right.
There it is right there. 1982, the Canard Restaurant. I don't know what the heyday of the Canard was, but, you know, we always liked that spot in there, and they just always had a great... My favorite for years as a kid were those sweet and sour chicken balls. Couldn't get enough of them.
Yeah, so the Walkers there were...
Celebrate on Saturday.
Honored there because they were well known.
Oh, right on.
For,
well, actually, I remember the story I shared was like when I went to the Canard one time, I got takeout and I put it on the top of my car. This was like in the 90s, and I drove away, and it all just went all over the place. I was like... Oh. Okay, anyhow, that was my, Okay, so Erica Gregg, the widow of Milton Gregg, presents the annual award for outstanding contribution to conservation to Harry and Winnie Walker. Milton F. Gregg was the founding honorary president of the Conservation Council. Walkers celebrate on Saturday. Okay.
I used to talk to him.
Yeah. So conservation, like this is very important right here. Like, so these people were putting their time and effort into the conservation efforts. I'm assuming this has to do with nature. And there they are right there. That's a great photo from 1982. Ladies and gentlemen, Miramichiers out there doing excellent things as they have been doing for a long time and continue to do so, as I am finding out day to day on my visit home from Vancouver. After, you know, this is the longest I've spent on the Miramichi Lodge for a long time.
Okay, we got two well-known softball players here.
Okay, we're softballers, and we love our softball. I'm still playing in Vancouver. I love it. Okay, so this one here is from June 2nd, 82. It says the Nelson Schooners to host the St. John Alpines this weekend. And there they are, folks. Veteran pitcher Terry Keating. That's a great action shot. He's got his warm-up jacket on. It looks like he's just, you know, getting ready to start that game. He was going to start that with a drop ball low and outside. Then he was coming high and in tight. And veteran Nelson pitcher Terry Keating works out in preparation for the 4 big games against the St. John Alpines this week at Gerald King Memorial Field. So St. John would come up for 4 games. They must have played 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, stayed overnight, and had a great big, you know, teams would know each other after a weekend like that, wouldn't they?
Oh, for sure.
Playing a team 4 times. Schooners ahead, 3-1. So in that series, the Schooners beat them 3-1. This is from June 9th. There's Don Matheson swinging away. The Nelson Schooners have pinstripes on in that photo. There's a great action shot from Don Matheson. And I don't know Don Matheson, Raj, and if he's still around the old Miramichi.
I think so.
I think so. So Don, I hope you're watching this and you see yourself in an action photo. It brings back some memories.
Now this is really blurry here, but it's a good story on this side.
Okay.
At the base.
Okay, so we're going to have The Armed Forces Day, held this year on June 26, is a fitting annual event to launch Canada Day's celebrations. Here, personnel of CFB Chatham demonstrate how to load a rocket during the 1981. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Miramichi, there's many things that were happening. There's fishing going on, there's hunting, there's hiking, there's baseball, there's hockey, there's all kinds of things. And in 1981, there was rockets being loaded because we had a Air Force base here with lots of interesting things going on.
Now this Gertha Logie was a piano teacher here.
Oh,
this is something special.
Right
there.
on. Portrait of Queen Victoria. You're not going to believe. A portrait of Queen Victoria will soon hang in the Logie Cultural Center in Chatham. The portrait was presented to the center on Victoria Day by Mrs. Gertha Logie of the Logieville Center. At left is Vice President Elizabeth Crawford, and right, Mary Rose, who was the Curtis Park committee member. Well, there they are. Gertha Logie, Mary Rose, and who was the other one? Elizabeth Crawford. Okay, so Raj, I went up to the Miramichi History Museum there.
Yeah.
That Sean O'Reilly runs, and his story, you know, if our project continues into the future next year or something, you know, there might be an extended appreciation of Miramichiers.
Yeah.
But guess what I saw in that museum on Saturday or whatever, or Friday? I saw one of those portraits of Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
So I mentioned him. I said, we just read a story, and he actually said, there's actually a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
He was smart. He knows his stuff. He was really, really helpful. I really enjoyed that tour.
So Kathy Kernahan was really high on this here club.
Yep.
So she got a story on here. I got a few underlined things here that will feature these two people here.
Okay, right on. The 4-Hers received special awards. Ladies and gentlemen, the first picture I'm going to show you is a smiling Lisa Faulkner of Newcastle. She was last Saturday at the Napan 4-H Achievement Day after winning the Beef Showmanship class and the best ticket. So there's Lisa Faulkner. That's a beautiful photo of a young Lisa Faulkner with an animal, very healthy to be out into nature, on farms, connections with animals. You cannot pay for an education that is that. And who's this young lad right here with a 1980s ball cap on? Look at that thing right there. Really cool. And that is none other than Jeff Gillis of Napan. And he was the proud winner of the Junior Dairy Showmanship. So who else was involved? Heather Bremner, best overall 4-H member. Kathy Schenkis, how do you say that?
Schenkels.
Schenkels. Oh, that's an L.
Beautiful farm up there.
Oh, yeah. You love that farm. Philip Holland. Oh, Schenkels is going into Sunny Corner there.
Yeah.
Well, I actually showed a video of the house
Okay.
on one of our episodes. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Mike Holland, Karen Thompson of the Thompson family, and right on. So good for you guys.
Here, give me that.
Oh, you're going to show that to somebody?
Yeah. That face right there.
Oh, yeah.
That lady there eventually worked at the pulp mill up in Newcastle. And I remember walking by her desk one morning, and I said, Lisa Faulkner, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. And she looked at me with a smile, wondering, who the hell is he?
Who the hell? Well, you know what? It is something that, you know, The Price is Right, that it's just something that never goes old. Like, there's lots of times you just walk by a person and you just feel like saying that. Come on.
Yeah.
From Rob.
Okay, a couple of well-known people here
Okay.
in the Miramichi.
Summer school in Chatham, Moncton University courses, Professor Douglas Shanahan. He was doing a lot of literature courses. Look at that guy right there. Doug Shanahan. I think he lived in Nelson. He was a great educator. He did a lot of night school classes for university. My mother had a 2-year nursing back in the 80s. As she was working, she did all her night courses to get a full degree. This was her main teacher, and they all liked him and spoke highly of him. So right on, Mr. Doug Shanahan. And here we go, folks. Oh, look at this. Kinsman Aid Campaign. This fine gentleman of the Newcastle Kinsman Club presents a $200 check on behalf of the club to the Miramichi Kidney Foundation. Accepting the check is Pearl Bryanton. We just spoke about her, of that same Kidney Foundation thing. And who is this fine Kingsman? He is none other than friend of the show, Mr. Bob McCullum. Has spent much of his life in charity events, playing music. Great strong, powerful singing voice. And he actually opened up one of our episodes, Raj, with his great song, Miramichi Life. And Bob, I keep saying I was going to get back over there, and I really plan on doing it. And I just got myself busy.
So these are assessment officers, which Eddie Russell worked at there.
Yep.
And this lady here was a special friend of my neighbor Marjorie Young.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they're honoring that guy.
Okay, so Warren Casey retires. So Warren Casey was the regional director of assessment for the past 15 years. And Edward Russell is shown presenting a life membership to Mr. Casey to the New Brunswick Association of Assessment Officers. So there's Warren Casey being honored in the top photo by Logieviller Edward Russell. Roger played hockey with Eddie growing up. Strong skater, eh?
Oh, yes.
Edith Dixon presents a gift and a propane barbecue to Warren Casey on behalf of his staff. So Edith was a great friend to Roger's old neighbor, Marjorie Young, and there she is, a propane barbecue. That seems like an odd gift to receive, but hey, I bet you he knew how to cook a perfect steak, medium rare. And if anybody has me over for dinner on the Miramichi and you're cooking steaks, that's how I like them.
Okay, we're getting ready for graduation. I just want to mention the amount.
Okay.
And Piper.
Okay. So the baccalaureate service, this is June 23rd, 1982 at St. Michael's. This is James M. Hill. They graduated 324, and that is way down these past years. Not even close to that. And you know what? Mark MacDonald was a student. He was clad in the Scots regalia, and he piped the assemblage into the church. He is a gentleman. I had him at one of his first teaching gigs. Mark MacDonald, son of Jim. I don't know his mom's name. My apologies. Anyway, we had him as a young teacher, and I tell you what, Raj, we were not easy on him because we were a bad class, and he was trying to be so good to us. And I have high respect for Mark MacDonald, and he was one of our town's great bagpipers. And I guarantee it, he's still doing it. He was really good.
So this is the graduation class of 82.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to mention a couple of people that.
Okay, so June 30th, 82. Roger has some names underlined. He did that back in 1982 when he cut this out. Roger, and he's also like taping different things together to keep this all together. This is what the local historian Roger Como does. What are some names that he underlined 42 years ago? Wendy Blackier, Eileen Mary Como.
So that's Lynn E. Perry's sister.
Lynn.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't have known that. Yeah. Carolyn Jardine, and she was Frank's daughter.
Yeah.
Anne Kerr, that's the daughter of John. Are John and Richard brothers or cousins?
Yeah, they're not brothers.
Okay. Jamie Leggett. Catherine Marquis, that's Mary's sister, maybe?
Yeah.
Paula Murdoch. She used to cut my dad's hair. Linda Murdoch. Lillian Murdoch. Roxanne McKnight.
Yeah,
Is
John
she?
McKnight's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad McPherson and David Olson and Carol Walsh. So right on, 1982 graduates from James M. Hill. And what do we got here? Oh, there it is, folks. The Chatham Junior High School students receive awards. Well, look at this. There's Mark LeBlanc, and Tony Wormel is the guy that's not as tall as Mark LeBlanc, who ended up being one heck of a hockey player, athlete, played some pro hockey. And that's Pauline Lorden. And then who else was there? And Carol Stevens were the female athletes of the year, and there's the male. And I tell you what, Pauline deserves a lot of credit. Team Canada basketball, I think she was there as a coach. She had a great athletic career at the University of New Brunswick, set some records, great athlete. She coached my sister. So I hope she's doing good in this. She always just looked really good and fit and healthy.
So we got a photo of Miramichi Valley here.
Okay.
And there's Roxanne there.
Okay. So we said 324 graduated from James M. Hill, but here is a photo of the MVHS graduates. And again, yes, is our program skewed to this side of the river, the south side? Of course it is, because we're Logievillers, Log Cityers, Chatham. That's where we all went to school. Those are the people we mostly were connected with. And there's Roxanne McKnight, and she delivers the valedictoria on Monday night's graduation. So there's the valedictorian in 1982, Roxanne McKnight. This is Roger's personal collection, so we're just doing what we're doing. And so, which brings me up to some jokes, Raj. And there's a new joke on the horizon that I've been working on. So the first joke that I kind of made up was, why did the Miramichi cross the road? And the answer is, well, they didn't cross the road. They crossed the river to go one up the Miramichi on the other side of the river. Oh, big rivalry back in the day, Newcastle, Chatham. So the new joke, and this is because we're Logievillers, and this is the side we're on, how many Miramichiers does it take to screw in a light bulb? Well, 1 if you're from Logieville, 2 if you're from Napan, 3 if you're from Taintville, 4 if you're from Chatham, 5 if you're from Bushville, and on and on and on. So that joke can be worked many ways. It depends who tells it. So, okay, so Raj, what do we got here? He didn't like my joke. Okay, hooping the wheels. This is from June 9th, 82. Look at that great photo of a great Miramichier making some wagon wheels, and his name was, oh, it's not a Miramichier, Fred Palmers of Ludlow has been making wagon wheels for at least 50 years, and here at his wagon wheel shop, he can be seen hooping a wheel. And I'll tell you what, anytime you're working with your hands, the craftsmanship, it takes a lot of skill to know how to do something. Making those things right there is no joke, and there was an old crafts master making some wagon wheels.
So if Bushville was taking 5 leads to put the light in,
Yeah.
they must have been breaking them as they were doing it. Okay, we have this here.
The library changeover. Edith McAllister is retiring on July 1st as librarian of the Old Manse Library, Raj, and is being replaced by Catherine Bryan, the new librarian. So there's Edith McAllister being replaced by Catherine Bryan in 1982. Look at that. I'm sure there was some great mentoring going on there. And that's a great photo, a library passover. I'm one of those people, Raj, that loves a library. I love old bookstores. It's one of my major interests, and that's her there, eh?
So George Cadogan wrote a big story on her.
Oh, right on. And that's her big story. She, it would be great if we were able to share that. But there is the retiring library. It looks like that she had a great career, knew her stuff. I would have loved to have met her back in the day and talked some books.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Raj? Just because we don't...
Yeah, it's just little kids that are just...
Yeah, but it's Croft Elementary that, we don't do the Newcastle side.
Yeah.
So I'll just quickly read them, okay?
Sure.
Amy Shattuck, Allison Hall, Terry Colford, Krista Wolds, Jamie Williston, Christine Trickett, Andrea Summers, Kirk Gallivan, Eddie Clouston, James Gallant, Troy McKenzie, Michael Beals, and teacher Jennifer Way, Kevin Allison, Dax Siliker, I knew him. He was a strong on a skate defenseman. Cale Taylor, Stephen Dunaher, and Todd Sobey and Kylie Hubbard. Well, Stephen Dunaher and Todd Sobey played some good hockey over the years. They were good hockey players. That is a group from Croft Elementary back in 1982. And right on. I recognize several names there. Great photo. Look at that. Todd Sobey, Stephen Dunaher, Dax Siliker, Christine Trinkett, and okay, right on, Raj.
Yeah. So Carrigan advertises the tourists
Okay.
to go and visit that place.
Village Historique Acadien. Welcome to the old Acadian culture in Caraquet, June 25th, 1982. And there it is. And I would challenge anybody that is watching this right now that has not taken the drive up to the Acadian Peninsula in recent years to go into the beautiful city, town, whatever you call it, of Caraquet. It is really excellent. They have excellent restaurants there, and it's really beautiful.
So here's guys that donated quite a bit of blood.
Okay. Wolfgang Huxma and Tom King were presented Red Cross plaques by Bill Walls. He was president of the Chatham Rotary Club, and the plaques recognized donations of more than 35 units of blood at Canadian Red Cross blood donor clinics. Well, right on. And I mentioned, there's Wolfgang Huxma right there. He was a triathlete, did some Ironman. I always seen him training as a kid, very gentlemanly, and he actually hiked the Appalachian Trail Lodge, which is about 4,000 kilometers.
Yeah, so 42 years ago,
Oh,
all the math adds up to 67, eh?
I think so, yeah.
So back in 82, it was 25 years.
Yeah, look at this, the Miramichi branch number 10. This is the Folk Song Festival, is 25 years old. And I'll tell you what, Susan Butler, I just had a great chat with her. So this is fitting because she was just speaking about her, you know, that she put so much time into that. You know, she had Charity Pride up here one year. And that's the folk song. This is in 82. It turned 25. And, you know, Susan Butler Raj gave me a book on the Folk Song Festival. And guess who's not getting it? I got my own collection going on. I can't be giving stuff to you anymore. You already got your own stuff.
Oh, I probably haven't.
Yeah, she wrote it
Yeah.
on the folk song history, and it was really, really good. I appreciate it. And she gave me a ball hat. Did you see that hat I had? I
Oh.
now have a new ball hat that says Miramichi Folk Song Festival on it, and I like it.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
So how are we doing? We're at 53 minutes.
Well, we got
Susan's interview is about 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can do that
We
one.
got to talk about Jennifer McKendrick.
Jennifer McKendrick.
She's
It
concerned.
says, I'm concerned about our future on the Miramichi. This is 1982. This is when that CFB Chatham was going to close. This is a great photo. I think Johnny worked up there, did he not? At the base?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't
certain. But anyway, this is Jennifer McKendrick. Her sister, we showed a picture of Amanda at the beginning drawing those photos, and that was her sister in one of those, Pam. Pam played lots of music around the Miramichi over the years, and she has a great voice, and that's her sister, Jennifer McKendrick, 1982. Excellente.
Okay. Pageant kicks off Canada Day.
Pageant kicks off a Canada Day fete, and who is in that? Well, Mary Lou McKay, she won it. She was the queen. The first princess was Wendy Cummo, and Roger can show you those. Miss Congeniality, Marjorie Hubbard. And I'll tell you what, the big article here in June 30th, 82, the big story, there was only one contestant to wear a swimsuit because it was removed this year. The girls pushed back and said, no, we're not doing swimsuit competitions. The only one to wear it was, what's her name again? What was her first name?
Yeah, her name's right there.
Just a sec. Her name was,
Not giving any names there.
no?
Well,
Oh, God, it says it right here.
Miss Congeniality.
Oh, no, it's Wendy Cummo. Oh, Sharon Bro, the daughter of Ivan, who played the piano during the fiddlers that I had on. Anyway, she was the only one to wear a swimsuit, and it also said she was tanned and blonde in that article. I'm not making this up, just reading what was there. Great moments in local sports. Look at this guy right here, Klein Cassidy. Well, Raj, you know how you're living in a great town, eh? You know how you know your town has some soul? Well, when you got a guy named Klein. And this year was the year was 47, and Klein Cassidy had just won the Maritime Light Heavyweight boxing title from Gene K.O. Fowler during World War II. Klein fought in the armed forces and won the Army title. He had boxed in England, Africa, Italy, Belgium, and Holland. And upon returning home, he also fought in the USA and then retired due to hand problems. So that sport and the Army took this Miramichi all over the world. Right on.
Honored another guy here.
Ben O'Reilly celebrates 45 years of business, and this was 82. So that place, the old hot dog and hamburger spot up on where Tim Hortons is in Chatham now. Tim Hortons, I'm sorry, it's just not our style. We are old school guys. We like going in. We loved going into Ben's. You drive up along, go in. Roger always got the hamburgers. I always went hot dog, as my dad did. and the red stools in there. There was red interior. It was just a throwback place. It was just a big hole in our community when that place left. Ben O'Reilly is seen in the August 81 photo being made of Freeman of Chatham. In the photo, John Crosby, Adelaide Hashie, and the mayor, Eddie Marr. And there, which one's Ben? Is this Ben?
No.
Right here.
Yeah.
So Ben's right here. Great photo. His son Mike did a very good job of keeping that place up into the 2000s. And I used to hang out there in high school. It was a high school thing. It was old school. You drive in, park in the parking lot, meet up on a Friday night. It was a cool time.
We're almost done in June here.
Okay. And here it is, harness racing to be held July 1st. Look at this photo, okay? First of all, one of our great trainers in the Miramichi, he was from Newcastle, his name was Bill McKay, and he plans to race this black 4-year-old stallion here at the Chatham racetrack on July 1st. So there he is, folks. Great trainer, Bill McKay was his name. But look at the action of this photo right here. That looks like it's actually straight out of the Bluegrass State, Kentucky. That is a great photo. Look at the people there. This is in Chatham up at the old Miramichi Agricultural Exhibition Grounds. And it was, harness racing. And, Bob Corlett and Appener, we just showed an article on him trying to revamp that sport.
More there.
Holiday card set to go. Here is another photo of some harness racing. Roger Como loves his horse racing. With only a day to go, Lloyd Hanna has his 2-year-old mare, Adios Julie, ready for the call to the post on July 1st at the Chatham Raceway.
And there's his other horses.
And there's his other horses. So horses ready to go in Canada Day. And, the episode that I deleted, one of the things I remember doing, Raj.
These are Lloyd Hanna horses, right?
These are, okay, so Roger has Lloyd Hanna horses underlined. And they are Adios Julie, Miramichi Sioux.
That's race 1, eh?
Yeah, race 3 he had Bell's Dream. He was also in race 9, and his was Comet Sealster. But we're baseball fans, and as we said before, no sport has better nicknames than baseball except for horse racing. And look at some of these racers. Okay.
Giddy up and go.
Yeah, Steady Butte, Hardy's Honor, Harmony Greenwood, what else do we got for some? Ocean Flash, Sunset Reject, Cocan Champ. What else? Horse racing here. Cinnamon Lady, My Babes Joe. What about Miss Robbie Top? What about Brenda's pointer? Well, I remember that Brenda, the pointer, she wasn't using this pointer. She was using this pointer going around the Miramichi. And then one more horse name. The last one that we will say is, I got to pick a good one here. How about, oh God.
That's it, just the Lloyd one.
That's it. Okay, Roger says that's it.
Okay, there's only 2.
Newcastle gets first light at Ball Field, June 30th, 82. This was at Strawberry Marsh, and it was in 82, and none other than Mr. Paul Dawson was absolutely pivotal in that coming. The great politician and fundraiser and builder of softball and many other things, Paul Dawson.
So a lot of hard work upgrading Elm Park in
Okay,
Chatham.
Elm Park in Chatham. If you drive by there, you will see the Elm Park, and this is when they were installing the War Memorial, and it is still there. Elm Park in Chatham, right along Wellington. 1982 is when they were doing this. Look at the old truck right there, Raj. That looks like your truck. Were you there? Were you foreman on that project?
No.
So Chatham's Elm Park was the scene of intensive activity Tuesday as crews continued work on the War Memorial, landscaping, and planting of trees. The weathermen may bring a temporary halt to the project today. And there the lads are. Who does it give any? And there it is. Steve Harriman and Tim Hebert. And as per mentioned, that's where I read Dean Martin, Winston Churchill on the Miramichi, James Bond, Linda Carter, who's Superwoman. We have a Miles Davis and a Dean Martin. This town is no joke.
So we have one last article.
Okay.
And there's something in common between New Brunswick and Alberta.
Okay, and there's a Miramichi house in Alberta. This is one of the Logies. His name was Warren Logie, and he lived in Fairview, Alberta. And this house right here was called, that's one of the Logie guys right there. Look at that beautiful home. This house was built in Fairview, Alberta, and it was named Miramichi House. So I wonder if that house is still there to this day, Raj. We should just gather up all our resources and just move to Fairview, Alberta, and just buy it. Just start moving in. We should do a whole YouTube show on the history of Fairview, Alberta. Somebody with your connections, you should be able to get a collection that we could share there, right?
Some wall pictures here now for the next.
For the next one, okay. So it's it's almost 11 o'clock on a Monday morning. I have to go up to town, do a few things, and if Roger's still around, we're actually going to shoot 2 today. I don't know if I'm pushing him a little bit too much. We don't have to, but we might just do that.
We're going to do one this afternoon.
This afternoon, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys shortly.